Okay.
So guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If this is your first time of you see my channel, you are welcome. Right now we are in the city of Hangzhou, and today we came to see a friend of ours. He's been a very good friend of ours for how many years now? Say hello. His name is Tochukwu.
Hello, guys.
So right now he's working in the city of Hangzhou, and today we'll be asking him few questions: what it is to be a black person here in China, how long he worked in China, what type of visa he's been using before he started working in China. He's been in China for how many years now? You will hear from him everything you need to know. But in a situation whereby I didn't ask the question you want to hear from us, you can still drop it in the comment section. He was always willing and ready to respond to your questions. Now, Tochukwu, over to you. How long have you been in China?
I came to China in 2014.
Okay.
So this will make it the 10th year.
Wow.
In China.
Wow. 10 years of being in China. That's interesting. What have you been doing in China?
I studied, did language program first, and then a master's program,
Okay.
and another master's program,
Okay.
and now I'm working here in Hangzhou.
Okay. So, to you, what do you feel, or what do you have to tell my subscribers? Like, how is life in China generally?
So, China is very developed. I would have to put that one out first.
Okay.
And it's a good experience, but different experiences comparing life of a student
Okay.
and life of a worker here. But I will start with being a student. So generally Chinese people are welcoming.
Okay.
And the schools you go to in China, they treat you good, and they try their best to give you the best comfort and environment to help you achieve your academic career, and probably to learn some tangible things and maybe go back to your country or somewhere else, or stay in China to have a better life. So this is my experience of studying in China, and I studied in 2 different cities, and I had similar experiences. So mostly the Chinese people you meet every day will be nice to you, and they're curious about your complexion, they're curious about your culture, and curious about the type of food you eat in your place, and the activities you have in festive periods. So generally they are curious, and they probably be asking you a lot of strange questions because they are over curious, but it's part of the story. They're not doing it to antagonize you, they just want to know more about you. And you find out that once you get used to answering questions, you make a lot of friends. So that's my experience of being a student here in China. But as for working, it becomes a whole different story. Your employees, your colleagues, just like in your academic days, they treat you nice, but you're not gonna have enough time to be interacting with many people. But generally the environment is good. Your colleagues, they try to know more about you and make you feel comfortable, and try to invite you out, to have some fun and not to think too much about work. Yeah, so generally what I would say is you're gonna meet a lot of Chinese people who are willing to interact with you, and also to tell you about their own culture. So you learn a lot, you will fall in love with the environment and the people, and hopefully if you have an opportunity to be here, you will also have your own story.
Okay. Thank you very much for that. So before, you were using student visa, right?
Yeah, I was on it. Yeah, for most people that don't know, if you're gonna study, you will use a student visa.
Yes, sir.
And if you're gonna work, you will work in a work visa. You're gonna get a work visa. So it's actually for most part is actually not very legal to work as a student unless you have special permission from the schools or from the local government. So mostly as a student, you're gonna just do studying, and when you want to work, you go through the process of applying for the work permit first, which is the more complicated step. But then after your work permit, you go for your work visa or your resident visa.
So now, how difficult or easy is it for you to change from your student visa to work visa? How easy was that, or how difficult was
So
it?
one thing I noticed in China here is that although it's one country, some provinces, so in China they do province, they don't do states.
Okay.
So some provinces or some cities have better relations with one another compared to others. So they have this concept of maybe sister city, whereby maybe Beijing, for example, might be a sister city to another city in China, and they have very friendly policies, and that aids and helps conversion from one different form of visa to the other. So if you're gonna if you're a student and you're going from student visa to a work visa, generally you go through the process of applying for a work permit. It's not very difficult as long as you have the requirements that they need, which mostly is the work experience and the language capabilities and the skills that are required for the position you're applying for. So generally, work visa from student visa, as long as you have a company that employed you and you have the requirements and the papers ready, it's quite easy to convert, as long as you have someone or a company or organization that employed you.
Okay, thank you very much. So now, as a black person living in China, do you think it's easy for you to get a job here in China?
Well, my own opinion about someone from an African origin that is seeking for employment in China, it might not be the easiest thing for you, but I would say that there are chances, there are opportunities. Culturally, maybe as a form of stereotype, the Chinese believe in our sports ability, our ability to perform sports and physical activities. So if you are into sports, you get the opportunity to be a coach, football coach, or a basketball coach, or just a track and field coach. So those kind of jobs, we don't have a lot of competition there. So as long as you know what you're doing in those areas, you're probably gonna get a lot from there. So about other ones, you also have to know that you're competing with everyone, including your Western counterparts. So it's not just a pool of African Americans. They are looking at a lot of things, and that brings competition into it, and you can easily be eliminated. So that's what I'm gonna say. As a black person or someone from African origin working in China, you might have times when they might prefer to have, say, a Caucasian or someone with a lighter complexion to fit some particular description of jobs that they have. But I wouldn't put it as 100% discrimination. It's what the job requires, and yeah, when you get one that needs you, you're definitely gonna be the candidate for you.
Okay, thank you very much. So now, generally, how is life in Hangzhou City?
Yeah, so
Can you talk about cost of living and
cost of living is not as crazy as Beijing or Shanghai. Yeah, by the way, Hangzhou is very close to Shanghai. It's like 1 hour or 1 hour 30 minutes train ride to Shanghai. So it's not as crazy. It's not as high. So if you're looking for a very nice city, but also very conscious of your spending, Hangzhou is the perfect place for you. So it kind of cuts in between the kind of life you want to have in, say, Shanghai, which is basically almost the same here but cheaper, and maybe the kind of life you don't want to have in a lower tier city. So Hangzhou covers everything, and it gives you opportunity to see the countryside or the most developed part.
Okay, thank you very much. Are you married? No.
No, single and searching.
How is relationship life here in China?
Relationship life in China is, well, what I'm gonna say about that is For people who are, you know, who are willing to have partners from other cultures, it's really easy because now China is the economic hub of the world. Everyone is coming here. So if you're looking to see to have partners from different places, this is also an opportunity. It's a good place to start, and you're definitely gonna find someone if you're looking seriously here. And also the challenge is if you're gonna be looking for someone from your country, for example, the pool of people you'll be searching from is not as large as what you would have back there at home. But when you see someone that you have interest in, China is a place that encourages. You know, there is no stress of trying to impress someone. Everyone is like more real because the work life kind of takes a lot from you, so you don't have time to be impressing a lot of people. So you try to shoot straight and meet the right people. And also the environment where you meet people are important. So if you're working, you're probably gonna meet someone that is working too. If you're a student, you probably hang out more with students, and that gives you opportunity depending on where you are.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you for your time and everything. I really appreciate.
So how many cities have you lived in?
I was in Shijiazhuang, which is the provincial capital of Hebei province, and later I was at Taiyuan, which is the provincial capital of Shanxi province, and now Hangzhou, this is the provincial capital of Zhejiang. So in total it's gonna be 3, but I have spent some time also in other cities like Lianyungang in Jiangsu province. I spent about a couple of months there. So where I have lived for a long time would be those 3 cities, but I have other places I've visited and stayed for a couple of days or months.
Okay, I would like you to explain a little about what would be the best city for a newcomer, someone who is coming to China for the first time, for probably to live for a longer time, you know, in terms of cost of living, in terms of social life, in terms of relationship with fellow, you know, people from his race or from his country. Where would be the best place for a student or a business person or somebody who is working?
Okay, so those scenarios will present different situations. If you're gonna study, China has a lot of universities in different cities and provinces. However, personally, I prefer to study in the northern part of China. First of all, it's where the best Chinese is spoken. So if you're also here to pick up the language and have more experiences with the culture, I would recommend the north. And also, for example, the city I went to the first time, which is Shijiazhuang, is also a logistic hub that makes things really cheap and not expensive. So it's, as a student, maybe starting from there would be a good choice. And also generally things are not very expensive in the north, except in Beijing, which of course is the capital. So if you're gonna study, I would recommend in the north, northern part of China. But if you're gonna study and do business at the same time, or if you're gonna just engage in business only, the south is where all the business cities are. Example, Guangzhou, which is probably one of the most popular business cities in China, is located in the south. And the place where I am, Zhejiang province, also has cities like Yiwu and Ningbo, which are known business cities. So depending on what you want to do, if you're gonna come do business, you have to focus more on the south, in the southern part of China. And if you're gonna study, I guess I would recommend northern part of China more than the south.
Okay, security-wise, do you think it's advisable for a single lady to visit China?
So China is probably one of the, if not the most secure countries in the world. Even the policemen here, you don't see them moving around with arms. because it's as safe as that. They don't need to keep order, law and order, with weapons. Everyone generally respects the law and are afraid of punishment from the government. So anyone, including a kid, can be here and be safe. You don't need protection from anybody. The law is there. People tend to follow what the law says, mind their business, which is the most important. No one actually interferes in what you're doing unless it's against the law. So anyone can come here. Accompanied or unaccompanied, you're gonna be fine. People here, they try their best to live their lives and not care too much about what other people are doing. So if you're a young lady and you want to have some experience in China, feel free to come and see for yourself. So night and day is almost the same experience. The security doesn't shut down or go down when it's night. The level of security you have in the day is the same as the level of security you got in the night. So it's one of the safest cities. You don't hear gunshots, you don't hear kidnaps. You can take a taxi any time of the day or night and you're safe. So this is one of the best places to visit if you're concerned about safety.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Really appreciate it. So guys, you guys have heard from him. Like I said earlier, he's a very good friend of the family. We've been with him for a very long time now. Sorry, I forgot to mention, he's a Nigerian. Yeah, he's a Nigerian. Both of us have been a good friend together with my husband. And please, you've heard all he said. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel, because right now we are in the city of Hangzhou. We are here to explore Hangzhou city. We've been in different cities. We've been to Shenzhen, Guangzhou, Foshan, Chongqing. Everything is in my video, so you can check my previous video just in case you've missed anything. And please don't forget to like, subscribe, turn on your notification button to be notified every time we post a new video, because as we are going to these different cities, we'll be interviewing black people in those cities. Let's see their experience and the things they have to tell you about that particular city. So thank you very much, and please don't forget to subscribe to our channel.
Like and subscribe. Ciao.
Bye.